Rowan burst through the back door, sandy brown hair sticking up in all directions from crawling under the porch, hazel eyes wide with excitement behind round glasses. A cobweb clung to the collar of their purple hoodie, and their jeans had fresh grass stains on both knees. Mrs. Chen's music box is missing, was how they announced most Saturday mornings, though usually it was about missing socks or escaped hamsters, not precious family treasures. Mrs. Chen lived next door and made the best dumplings in the neighborhood. Her music box played a tinkling melody that drifted through open windows on summer evenings. It had tiny dancing figures that spun when you wound the key, and Mrs. Chen said her grandmother had brought it all the way from China. "She's really upset," the young detective continued, pulling a small notebook from their back pocket. She noticed it was gone this morning when she went to dust her living room shelf. Mom looked up from her crossword puzzle. "That's terrible. Have you offered to help look for it?" "Already on the case." A pencil appeared from behind one ear. "But I need backup. This could be my biggest mystery yet." The first stop was recruiting help. Across the street, Marcus was shooting hoops in his driveway. His basketball swooshed through the net as he noticed his friend approaching. "Missing music box?" Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead with his Lakers jersey. "Count me in. My dad says I notice everything, like how you got cobwebs in your hair right now." Next came the twins from 2 houses down. Aisha and Amara were in their garage, surrounded by art supplies and half-finished paintings. "A real mystery?" Aisha's paintbrush dripped purple onto newspaper. "We're excellent at spotting clues." "Plus, we know everyone on the block," Amara added, adjusting her paint-splattered apron. "If someone saw something unusual, we'll find out." The investigation team assembled in Mrs. Chen's living room. She showed them the empty spot on the shelf between a jade plant and a photo of her grandchildren. "I dusted everything yesterday evening," Mrs. Chen explained, her usually cheerful voice wavering. "The music box was right here. This morning, gone." Rowan sketched the shelf layout while asking questions. "Was your window open last night?" "Yes, but it has a screen. And look," Mrs. Chen pointed to the window lock, "still latched from the inside." Marcus examined the carpet below the shelf. No footprints or dirt. Whoever took it was careful. The twins interviewed Mrs. Chen about who had visited recently. The list was short: the mailman, her daughter on Thursday, and Tommy Sullivan, who mowed her lawn yesterday afternoon. "Tommy wouldn't take anything," Mrs. Chen said firmly. "He's been helping me with yard work all summer. Such a polite young man." The team spread out to search for clues. Marcus checked the backyard while the twins examined the front porch. Their leader crawled around the living room floor with a magnifying glass, looking for any tiny clue that might have been missed. "Found something." Aisha called from outside. Everyone rushed to the front garden where Aisha pointed to the mulch beneath the living room window. "Look at these marks. Like something scraped through here." The detective crouched down, studying the disturbed mulch. Sure enough, there were drag marks leading from under the window toward the side of the house. "But the window was locked," Marcus reminded them. "How could anyone—" "Wait!" Amara's eyes lit up. "What if the thief didn't come to the window? What if they went out through it?" The pieces started clicking together. If someone inside the house had taken the music box and passed it through the window to avoid being seen leaving with it. "We need to check something," the young investigator announced, leading the team around to Mrs. Chen's side yard. There, beneath a thick honeysuckle bush, something glinted in the morning sun. Marcus reached into the leaves and pulled out a small brass key. "That's the winding key," Mrs. Chen gasped. "It must have fallen off the music box." The trail of disturbed mulch continued along the side of the house, ending at a loose board in the fence between Mrs. Chen's yard and the Sullivans' property. "Should we knock on their door?" Aisha said quietly. "Not yet." The notebook came out again. "We need more evidence. Marcus, can you peek through the fence?" Marcus, the tallest of the group, stood on tiptoes and peered through a knothole. "I see Tommy's bike. His basketball. Wait, there's something shiny in the garden shed window. The team huddled together to plan their next move. They couldn't just accuse Tommy without proof, but they needed to investigate that shed. I have an idea, Amara said. What if we asked Tommy to help us search? If he took it, he might get nervous and give himself away. We might return it secretly once he knows we're investigating, Aisha added. Rowan considered both options, then smiled. Even better. Let's ask him to help search his own yard. We'll say we're checking everywhere in the neighborhood. They found Tommy in his garage, organizing baseball cards. His face flushed pink when he saw Mrs. Chen with them. Hi, Tommy, the lead detective said casually. We're helping Mrs. Chen look for her missing music box. Mind if we check your yard? We're searching the whole block. Tommy's hands fumbled with his cards. Oh, sure, but I don't think it would be here. As they walked toward the shed, Tommy kept glancing nervously at Mrs. Chen. I hope you find it. That music box is really special, right? Your grandmother's? Yes, Mrs. Chen said gently. Very special. Tommy's shoulders slumped. He stopped walking and turned to face them, his eyes filling with tears. I didn't mean to take it. I just wanted to fix it. The whole story tumbled out. Yesterday, while mowing, Tommy had noticed the music box wasn't playing properly. The melody kept skipping. He thought he could repair it as a surprise. His dad had taught him to fix old clocks, and the mechanism looked similar. I was going to sneak it back this morning, Tommy sniffled. But when I opened it up last night, a spring popped out, and now I can't figure out where it goes. He led them to the shed where the music box sat on his father's workbench, surrounded by tiny screwdrivers and gears. Mrs. Chen's expression softened. Oh, Tommy, you should have asked me. I wanted it to be a surprise, Tommy mumbled. You're always so nice to me, giving me lemonade and cookies. I just wanted to do something nice back. The young detective stepped forward. Maybe we can fix this together. Tommy knows about the mechanisms. Marcus is good with his hands. The twins are detail-oriented, and I'm pretty good at solving puzzles. Tommy brightened. Really? You'd help me. That's what teams do, Marcus said, clapping Tommy on the shoulder. They spent the next hour huddled around the workbench. Tommy explained how the music box mechanism worked, while Aisha and Amara sorted the tiny pieces. Marcus held parts steady, while their leader consulted a repair manual Tommy's dad had left out. Even Mrs. Chen helped, describing how the melody was supposed to sound. There. Tommy gently placed the spring back in position. Try winding it now. Mrs. Chen inserted the key and turned it carefully. The familiar tinkling melody filled the shed, and the tiny figures began their graceful dance. You did it. Mrs. Chen hugged Tommy, then looked at all of them. You all did it. As they walked back to Mrs. Chen's house, Tommy carrying the music box carefully in both hands, he apologized again. I should have just asked for help from the start, he said. That's okay, Rowan replied, closing the detective notebook with satisfaction. Sometimes we think we have to solve problems alone, but the best solutions come when we work together. Mrs. Chen placed the music box back on its shelf and wound it up. As the melody played, she smiled at the group of children. This music box has seen many adventures, she said. My grandmother used to say it played better when people worked together to care for it. Today you've proven her right. She disappeared into her kitchen and returned with a tray of fresh dumplings and lemonade. Now let's celebrate our neighborhood detective team. As they sat on Mrs. Chen's porch, sharing dumplings and listening to the music box play, Tommy taught them about clock mechanisms while the twins sketched the adventure in their art journals. Marcus practiced spinning a basketball on one finger, dropping it only when he laughed too hard at Tommy's impression of his panicked face. Same time next Saturday? Marcus asked, finishing his third dumpling. The notebook flipped open one more time. Definitely. A good detective team sticks together. Mrs. Chen watched them from her doorway, the music box melody drifting through the screen door behind her. The tiny figures danced on, spinning to a tune that sounded sweeter than ever, perhaps because it now carried the memory of friendship, forgiveness, and the power of working together. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the detective team made plans for their next adventure. They learned that mysteries were easier to solve with friends, that mistakes could be fixed with honesty, and that sometimes the best discoveries weren't about finding what was lost, but about finding out what you could accomplish together. The music box played on, its melody weaving through the neighborhood like an invisible thread connecting them all.